So good old games. Tell me honestly, what games in the last decade replicated that amazing feeling that you had? For example, like the first time you entered World of Warcraft and you were at the login screen at the dark portal and waiting to immerse yourself in that fantasy world. For me, World of Warcraft is an example of peak gaming, atmosphere, immersion, and just world building and feeling that you have playing this game the first time especially. It was like a second home. For a lot of people, it was like a second home. People weren't toxic back then around the chat and helping each other and enjoying the game together, and the whole dynamic was different, and that made the game even better. The game itself is good, is really good, always was. It was one of the best MMORPGs out there, especially after the success of Warcraft 3. World of Warcraft came like a tsunami, and everyone loved it. Everyone can respect it, and everyone knows it was one of the best games in that year. Although that year was very rich with video game releases, like top-of-the-line video games. One of the best video games in the history in the world were released in 2004. As you can see here, there are a lot of video games that released in that year that are top of the line and everyone respects and loved them. Like Half-Life 2, Halo 2, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, Unreal Tournament, the new one. Like Metal Gear, Snake Eater. No wonder they're making a remake now. It was an amazing game. Like, you can look at the scores right here. They were so good. Like Far Cry, the first one. I loved Far Cry, the first one. Of course, Far Cry 3 was top of the line, and I think it's way better than Far Cry 1, but Far Cry 1 was really peaking that time when it appeared. Like Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay was an absolutely amazing game. And you might say this is a boomer take, like I'm infused with nostalgia and I don't accept the new games and I just like to relive those old school memories, which I can obviously not relive anymore. So I made a test. I took some of these games that I just showed you right now on the list and played them. And I tried coldly to compare them to the new games. Obviously, a lot of them mechanically and gameplay-wise are worse. But the story, the acting, the lore, the feeling, the immersion, they are so much better. And you know what a huge difference is? They took risks. Now no one is taking any risk. Now everyone is playing it safe. And I said this before, maybe not in videos, but usually with my friends and talking in general. I said this a lot of times and this is my opinion and I really stand by it. People nowadays know how to make money. They don't know how to make games. Back then they knew how to make games. But now they don't know how to make games, they just know how to make money. I have a lot of examples and I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about money, and everyone knows this.
Remember, no rush.
Now imagine if this game appeared today with this mission. Yeah, you can imagine. I'm sure you can. So that was the prime example of them taking risks. Now let's compare it with people not taking risks anymore, not knowing how to make proper and fun games anymore, and they know how to make money. Now, how did it get from that game to this?
Playtime is over when Nikki drops in. Pull up in a monster automobile gangster. Bang, 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 bang. You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer.
So I'm sorry guys, I'm really sorry. I know your eyes are bleeding, your ears are bleeding. Trust me, I had to record this first, I had to see it first, and then put it in here in the editing program, and I got to see it again, and it hurt. So yeah. How can you compare these two? And I have a lot more examples, and I'm gonna show you right now.
change the world forever.
And then we got this.
So proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
And then they are surprised their game is not doing well. Well, who is this made for? Who exactly is this made for? I don't understand. We have Prince of Persia Warrior Within, which, in my opinion, is the best Prince of Persia ever, and you guys might agree with me on this one. Some prefer Sands of Time, some prefer the Two Thrones, and some even prefer the new one that you were cleansing corruption from the land. I actually like that one too, but there's, for me, like, Warrior Within was the best in the series. There's no comparison to that. And the atmosphere, the storyline, running away from the Haka, the whole immersion, the feeling, the everything was there. It was really great. It was a great goddamn game. And now they decided to make a new Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. And it's not a bad game, right? But it's not even as close in quality as Warrior Within. And that was 2 decades ago. 2 decades ago. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're just milking series names for profit. Else I don't see another point to this game, really. And it was overpriced. For a game like this, it was overpriced, to be honest. So, yeah. So, Assassin's Creed came out recently, right? Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I made 2 comparisons. I got 2 footages from 2 different games, like decades apart. So, some footages are from Assassin's Creed, and some footages are from Legacy of Kain, Soul River 2. And don't get me wrong, Assassin's Creed Shadows looks good, visually. And the combat is like Valhalla. I mean, it's the same combat. And it's like a 7 out of 10 game. It's not that good in my opinion. I didn't feel anything while playing it, you know, but I want to talk about voice acting and acting alone. And I want you to look at these clips in comparison to Soul River 2. And please be honest with yourself and tell me if these two are comparable in any way, any shape, any universe. You decide.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
Mushrooms. The smell of dirt, grass, and rain. Where's your mother?
Stay away! Did the Ronin who killed my mother send you?
What? Nobody has sent me to harm you.
I prayed to the kami to make me a spirit too, so I don't have to be lonely and scared.
We had defense enough. Now I did not do as she was told.
You tell me to stay with Matsu, I stay with Matsu. Momochi-san you tells me to defend Iga, I defend Iga.
Now,
I do what I am told. I have never done anything less.
Now I will show you acting, voice acting, narration, and story integration. And please give this a chance if you've never seen it before. You're not going to regret it.
Presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. But as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new Guardians can be born.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong to us.
Your arrogance is boundless, Cain.
There's a third option. A monumental secret, hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Cain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
Now, personally, I don't think we will ever gonna have that nostalgia feeling back and get that quality that we had in old games. Sure, there are games these days that have amazing quality, like I said, like Wukong, like Monster Hunter Wilds, like a lot of examples, but that feeling that we had back then, and you can make this test yourself and put yourself any video game, old school video game from, for example, 2004 or even other years that were glorious for video games, and you can compare these two back to back, and you will see such a tremendous difference in everything from feeling to immersion to story to voice acting to, well, graphics. Obviously, you can compare the graphics with today's video games and back then's video games. And just think about how many remakes they make today. Especially remakes of really old and really good games like Resident Evil 4 and Silent Hill 2 and Snake Eater and a lot more, because they know they were good games.
I picked up a few new moves.
Now, I don't know what's going to happen next in the video game industry, but it's really corrosive and it's really going in a really bad way. Maybe they get back into it and take risks and do really great games again. I would love every single company to make great games again. From Ubisoft to EA to everything. It doesn't matter. I don't really hate any one of those companies. I want them to succeed, to make good games, because I want to play more games, you know? I'm not enjoying seeing every single game fail, because I remain without games, without good games to play. That's not the mentality. These are for toxic people, for people that fight constantly on the internet, for absolute crazy people. This is not the mentality you should have. You should not hate this company or that company, whatever. It doesn't really matter. What you want, what you really want, is them to succeed, no matter what company we're talking about. You want them to succeed so you can have 10 games to choose from, not 2. So you can have 20 games to choose from, not 3, right? You just want them to succeed. And right now I'm seeing so many companies fail and follow the same trend, making video games for people that really don't want these things in the video games. I don't know who they're listening to. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not sure what's going on, but the toxicity, the fight between developers and players and the community is crazy. Like, it's like a war. It's like the developers are going against the players' wishes. It's like they're fighting with them. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make this change in the game. I'll show you, like the avowed art director or who said that they're gonna piss people off or he's gonna make the game to piss Elon Musk off. And what the hell is this? Shouldn't you be making video games for the community? And you can't trust anymore these days. Plus, reviews are so weird. They're so disjointed. They're so inaccurate. This video game industry is all over the place right now, honestly. I really wish this whole thing would heal and we would get back into a golden age of gaming once again, without these fails like Concord, like Veilguard, like... I just want good games, man. That's all I want. That's literally all I want. And I bet you guys want the same goddamn thing. Well, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends. And I'll make more videos in the future. Maybe covering subjects like this, maybe other video games, maybe some reviews, who knows. But yeah, until next time.